Hello, today I will be using the mixer to mix the dough for the Prosphoras. The mixer is located under the sink. Over here it's pretty big and heavy, therefore I would recommend inviting some man to move that thing out. It's recommended to make sure that it's not plugged in before you open the lid, because the motor is pretty powerful and I actually find it pretty scary. So next I will, in the process of preparation for the Prosphora making, I would also prepare the trays to kind of treat it with wax. For that I would heat up the oven for about 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I would drop a piece of wax from the candle, just pinch it like this, and leave it on the tray and put it in the oven, and then it will melt. Leave it there for about 5 minutes, and after that use a paper towel to spread it kind of evenly, just wipe it off, and it will leave a thin film of wax. That will be sufficient for the Prosphoras not to stick to the bottom of these aluminum trays. The aluminum trays work best, although there are some steel ones, but over there you need to pour some flour so it won't stick that much. But we usually use the older trays for the top portions only, because then it will not stick in the oven to the bottom. So after that I will demonstrate how we use that mixing machine. So at first I would pour the mix of the yeast with water at the bottom. Then I would measure 8 of these measures on top. Well, it actually helps doing that if we already turn it on. That's against what I said, but I will not approach the mixer cords. And also the shifter here, the handle, the turn on lever, has 2 positions. One is towards the back of the mixer and one is towards the front. But I usually use the one that points towards the back, but because I use the one that points towards you because that will start the mixing machine stirring this direction towards the back wall, and this is a better way because the flour will not be lifting the lid from the front, so it will be rising against the back, and this will not create that much noise. I've added 8 measures of flour, and this is what it looks like. And in the meantime, I have added several measures of water, and my measure is about half of this bowl. The dough shouldn't be too wet, and it's somewhat sticky, but I will not try it while the machine is on. So if I want to try it to see how soft it is, I would stop it, unplug it, and then see what it is. So it shouldn't be really sticky very much. It shouldn't be sticking to the fingers. And at the same time, if it's too dry, that's probably not as convenient also. Therefore, I will see how it goes towards the end. It will start actually warming up a little bit. But that might be another issue because the machine is powerful and it actually generates the heat from the inside. But I think this is pretty much what I need. I would leave it spinning for about 5 more minutes, and after that I will extract it the same way, pulling that handle out and tilting the entire bowl, and then putting it in the oven in the metal large bowl that I have under the central counter, and then just turn this light on. I usually leave the dough to rise for 2 hours. That's enough. It will triple in size and actually will provide us more dough, and it will be softer and fluffier and probably tastier. The next step in our Prosphora making is getting the rolling machine ready. So here on the left, on this counter, it's pretty heavy as well. And also we need to be careful that these tops do not fall off, because sometimes they get unscrewed. There are screws at the bottom. So be careful. Grab from the bottom of the frame. And also because when we'll be rolling the dough, the machine will start moving on the table. We need to fix it somehow, so for that reason I have clamps from the Home Depot, but they are staying here. They are specifically purchased for this machine. These are the clamps, and I will attach this corner and then the opposite on the other side like this. So about the machine, I recommend pushing the dough with the side of the hand, or like this, and never actually point fingers towards the rollers, because when the dough is rolled, you never know where your fingers are. Actually, when you touch it, it's kind of hard to feel. So after several passes through the rollers, we'll be pouring some flour on the dough, because otherwise it will get sticky and it will start sticking to the rollers themselves. And if the rollers get actually wet, or if you see that there are particles of flour dough on it, it's sometimes better to remove it if there are a lot, because otherwise the dough will keep on sticking, and that will make the process harder and actually less efficient. After almost 3 hours, we've gotten this amount of dough. Is rising about 3 times. So now we'll be using this machine, and I have explained how it works a little earlier. What happens sometimes is these plates get loose and there are screws under them, so they need to be tightened a little bit by hand. Maybe I'll find some spring locking washers, and this wouldn't happen again. This is how I prepare trays for baking the Prosphora. So I preheat the oven and I leave a tray there for 10 minutes. Then I take a piece of candle and take a little pinch from it and drop it on the hot tray. This will melt And using the paper towel, I just wipe it, making sure that it's more or less uniformly spread out. After that, it will cool and will produce a thin film of wax, and the Prosphora will not stick.